What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. My name is Michael, and today's build is inspired by the concept art for Oblivion's monk class, although the skills are a bit different. I must also say that this build is heavily role-playing based and will require some enchanting exploits. This does not mean you make yourself invincible, it just means that you must use an exploit system in order to make weak weapons do reasonable damage. For example, making your hunting bow do the same amount of damage as, say, ebony or close to it. You will also need to enchant your unarmed to do a reasonable amount of damage, for example 70 points. Running his own chapel in the Clovian highlands of Cyrodiil, the monk has acquired a practical skill set simply by living his lifestyle. He would hunt to bring food to the other monks, and would have to be good with his bow not only for the food but in case any bandits were to visit. The monk was also disciplined through a martial arts routine and frequently would practice his unarmed ability on a sturdy hung up bag of grain. And half the time he wouldn't even use it. He would turn to herbal remedies such as potions. His daily practices gave him a fulfilling sense of enlightenment, however eventually the primal nature of humanity to always want more of something started to call. The monk, being highly self-controlled, would not stray from his path of purity, and so he decided to gain more from life by venturing to Skyrim, in order to do a pilgrimage of further enlightenment up the 7,000 steps of High Hrothgar. Upon leaving to further enhance his fulfillment in life, the monk was caught on the border of Skyrim and carted to Helgen where he escaped. After escaping, he will do the main storyline of Skyrim and then all the church-related quests. Dawnguard will also be a great option, and the sun damage spells in the restoration tree can then be used. The skills for the monk are archery, alchemy, enchanting, and restoration. The gear being used includes iron arrows, the hunting bow, a ring, an amulet of Akatosh, which is mainly for role-playing, monk robes, and boots. Archery will be used to quickly fire arrows with your bow to kill enemies when needed, and unarmed will be used for close combat when opponents get too close. This is one of the monk's biggest advantages, as many people consider him old and frail. However, when they attack him, they find he is coordinated and agile. The monk will be using enchanting to enchant his gear and also to exploit unarmed damage and archery damage to a reasonable level, and this will allow the build to keep within the aesthetic inspired by the Oblivion class concept art. For the Enchanted Gear, your robe should have Fortify Restoration and Resistance to Disease. Now this is a bit more for like a holy blessing of protection from the gods rather than practicality, and your ring should have all the unarmed damage you think is necessary for roleplaying. Your boots will be enchanted with Resist Fire and Shock damage, and the Amulet of Akatosh gives you 25% Magicka regen. You can swap out this necklace for something better if you really want to. Being a compassionate and good-doing monk, the build will be using Restoration to heal others and also himself. He can also cast spells to turn the undead away and seize their attacks. Being knowledgeable of nature, the monk will be using alchemical ingredients to craft potions to heal himself, provide special battle bonuses if need be, and also to create poisons if he's forced to kill. The potions he creates will also eliminate the opportunity cost it takes to heal with magic, so the potion is used on him, and he has magic to cast Heal Other on those around him, like his companions. All the perks you will need can be found in a link in the description, and when choosing companions they must be those with good intentions, so you wouldn't be hiring any mercenaries. The playstyle for the monk is quite a charitable one. You will always give to beggars, and your primary weapon equipped is of course your bow. The monk tends to stay away from hostilities when he can, and therefore if he is faced with battle, it will start off ranged and he will have his arrows to fire as defense. Whilst his archery is defensive in nature, his unarmed combat is very offensive, and he switches to this once enemies have gotten way too close. It is now that the monk fears for his life and will do whatever he can to survive, whether that be pound in someone's face, throw them on their head, or both. The monk will of course have a companion to help, and he will often switch out to a heal other spell if the companion can easily win the conflict themselves. Healing will of course be used by the monk when he takes damage, poisons as a last resort, and potions to stay alive and fortify his skills. The standing stone we are using for the monk is the Lord Stone for 50 points of armor rating and a 25% resistance to magic, and the stat spread is a third health, a third magicka, and a third stamina. Health will be of course to keep you alive, whilst magicka is to heal others and yourself. Stamina is also needed for you to slow time and aim with your bow, and sprint away if you're in too much trouble. And that wraps up this week's Skyrim build, the monk. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. The perks link you will need is in the description, alongside all our social media page links, which you should also check out and follow. If you love Skyrim builds, Fallout builds, Elder Scrolls, and Fallout discussion, be sure to subscribe for more FudgeMuppet goodness. Oh, and check out our ideal Fallout 4.